good afternoon, everyone. This is one more show of the Neighborhood News. Remember, if you are watching our show and it's not a Tuesday night, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So please come back for next Tuesday for a brand new show of the Neighborhood News. And remember, on Wednesdays, we have our show, Amigos, here, Channel 95. With me again is John. Thank you, John.
Good evening.
The last show, if you missed the last show and you want to see it, you can just log right on Facebook. And last week we went nationally and we talked about the president and the first year in office and what he was going to encounter at the second year on this 4-year term that everybody was saying that he was not going to survive 1 year. Yeah. But, you know, I guess he's going to survive the 4 years. Today, John, we are back, and again, just last week we have no agenda, so whatever we feel like talking about. And before we started, we were talking about your work and your job. And
just a quick story. I thought it was kind of funny. I went to Atlanta a couple of weeks back for work, and after I got out of the class that I was doing, went to CNN Studios. I had went there back in New York, which was pretty cool. So I said, let me try it out. So before the tour starts, the tour guide says, we have 3 things that you do not do here. 1, eat. 2, take flash photography. And 3 was drink. So go along on the tour, and we go into this auditorium, and they show you how the news is made. And there's a lady there with like aluminum foil Reynolds wrap, and she's like eating a sandwich. So the tour guide goes, excuse me, you can't eat in here. That was one of the things we talked about. So she stops, she closes it up.
She's part of the group?
Yeah, she was part of the tour group that he had said, no eating, no flash photography, no drinking. So we go on to the next thing, and it was like the HLN, I guess, studio. They were getting ready to start the show, and this lady was with her daughter. And all of a sudden, she's taking pictures, and the tour guide's looking at her. I said, I don't think you can take pictures. He went, please stop taking pictures. So I'm like, okay, strike number 2, whatever. So we go on. Next part of the tour was the newsroom. They had the whole newsroom there. And at the end, the guy says, are there any questions here, the tour guide? So the lady that was eating the sandwich, who has the daughter that was taking pictures, said, I have one question. Is this where fake news is made? And I'm like, oh my God, she didn't do this, right? But the tour guide did have a good comeback, and he said, no, that would be at Fox News Tours in New York. So he had a good comeback. He did have a good comeback. But, you know, it's kind of like when somebody says that, all right, everybody says it, I get it. You know, but number one, why are you on the tour? I mean, you know, but I just figured there are some things that are left better unsaid. And I'm just kind of like, when it said, I'm looking around, I'm like, who would have said that? Is this really happening?
I'm not with this group. I'm on the wrong group. Yeah. I think my group went that way.
But I was way at the end, you know, so it was kind of like, I had a decent amount of space between me because I was looking at some things.
I don't know her.
But yeah, I was, you know, but I'm like looking around and I'm like, I can't believe it. This is strike 3 then. I thought they were going to throw off the tour, but no, she went through, and, you know, but.
Oh, that's a funny one.
Yeah, I was like.
You know something, I think that you need to come down to the first city council meeting and tell that story.
But yeah, I was just, you know, it all goes back to what you agree with, what you do not agree with. But there are some things that, you know, that it's not helping. Stop.
But other than that, the tour.
The tour was good. I mean, the New York tour was better than the Atlanta one. I was kind of surprised because that's their headquarters. But no, it was fine. It was, you know, it's something to see. You know, you get some time, it's something to see. But yeah, without hopefully that comment and stuff, you know, like, be nice to the tour guide that's there. I'm sure he's not making more than like $15 an hour. Yeah. Like, try to have his day go a little bit smoother than that. That'd be great. But
Well,
anyway. So if you want, we could talk about some local things that have, you know, that are going on if you want to.
And we got the presidents of the I was going to
US?
say, in Portuguese we say the president of the city councils, but it's not the
Oh, yeah,
president,
yeah.
it's the mayor.
Yeah.
So we got the mayor finishing his first term
Yep.
and starting his second term. We had a chance to congratulate him at the another show, but just like I finish with you great to President Obama at the last show, I'm going to start this show with you grading for Mayor Jazel.
Why don't you start that? No, you know, there have been a lot of things that have been going on that are really good. You know, I for one, am really happy we got Starbucks finally in Fall River. That means we're moving up, right? And it's no more driving to Dartmouth or Swansea. Or,
yeah, the coffee cup's getting larger.
Yeah, the coffee, yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah. So you know, I just think it just shows something about the city if you can attract other businesses in. And I know a lot of people are going to say, and I'm not, this is not a commercial for any other coffee place. But
election, it's gone anyway.
It's gone, and every place is pretty similar. It just is what you prefer, and it's nice to have choices in the city now. That whole South Coast Plaza, I believe, is a definite positive addition to the city. Doesn't seem like you're here, just like how we have the bike path. So you know, we're moving forward. There are a lot of roads that are being fixed. I hope we have a lot more roads being fixed, but we do have a lot of roads that are not main drags that are being fixed. So that's always a positive too. Now, I have your car wrecked when you're driving through. I mean, myself personally, a lot of times I get on the highway if I can to avoid some city streets because I know my car's going to get banged up in it, you know. But we'll see what happens in the future. Let's see, you know, I hope that when...
At the another show that I was a guest, and that was with the Jean St. Pierre.
Yeah.
I did give the mayor credits for the reason that he didn't stop the projects, and he kept the projects rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, he had, you know, he could at least put the hold on projects and stuff like that. I gave him the credit for that. But at the same time, I took the credit from him about other administrations starting the project.
Yeah, exactly. No, they were. I mean, that's the situation, Carlos, right? Whoever's in office is going to get the credit for it.
Exactly.
But yeah, those projects were started, you know, under Mayor Flanagan. Then it went to Sutter. That carried them along. So you're right. I mean, but if anything, it's just bringing like a positive. I think of a more positive light to the city. You know, hopefully, you know. I'm an advocate for that bike trail. You know, when you go on that bike trail, it's like you're not even here in Fall River. So I hope that can be worked out, that we're not going to run over that bike path. I think it'll be absolutely insane to do that. So I'm hoping that the mayor holds to that.
I think we still have a lot of ink to waste before we see the end of it.
My thing is, and this is just my opinion only, that I believe that this was the administration's doing. They're the ones that sent it down, whether it be the administration or the City Corporation Council, but it's all this administration. They sent it down. They didn't totally explain it, which they should have. If they were being transparent, they would have explained the whole thing. They weren't. So my feeling is, you made the mistake, you fix it. You know, anybody that works with anybody, if you make a mistake at work, you fix it. I'm not expecting someone else to go fix it now. You made the mistake, fess up to it, and fix it, and then all will be well.
And again, we have a huge problem in our city is by the time that we found out stuff, it's too late.
Yeah.
And the excuse was public meetings and everything. But here's the thing. If it's something that the administration wants it, it's been talked for a week, every day on the news.
Yeah.
because it's something that the administration wants. When it's something that the administration wants but knows that they don't have the support, you see a very small print on the paper, public meeting. Okay? So, and then they come. The excuse was, we announced public meetings. That happened with everything, even with the water sale now, okay? With the sale of the water. Yeah. That happened with the bike path. That happened with Durfee High School. Yeah. Everything that's important that they don't know where the public's going to support or not, yeah. The public is brought in to defend instead of supporting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think though, as far as putting things in the paper, I think the newspaper does a pretty good job of, looking at both sides of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, they endorsed the mayor. Mm-hmm. People would say that, oh, they're always beating on him, but they endorsed him. So I try to think that they look at both sides of the situation. But there are things that this administration is going to have to deal with. Mm-hmm. And one of them is that Durfee High School. I was listening, I think, to Steve Camara the other day, and I know people are, going after him on this. We need the Durfee. We need something to be done with that high school. However, it's going to cost, $250 million. And now they're saying that we're only going to get 60%. I know they keep on throwing the 80% out, but if you look at the extras that are putting in there, it's like the pool, it's up to that. So. Yeah, it's up to 80 for the construction, but the other things like the pool and all these other extras that are going to be thrown in, they're not going to pay for that. So I think I had heard that it's roughly 60. If $250 million, we're going to have to pay almost half of that. Where's that money going to come from? That's a lot of money on top of all the other things we're going on. And I've heard that it would be an assessment for 20 years. People, when they hear that, are they really going to vote for it then? If they know whatever their tax bill is, they have another $200 or $300 on top of that to pay. It's going to be a tough sell, And I think that they're going to have to really go out there and be very transparent with it and say, this is what we can do, this is what we can cut off. I know they've had a committee working on it for 4 years, but people vote with their pocketbooks a lot of times, mm-hmm. and unless something's done to show this is what it is, and be honest, I don't know.
When you come to the public, the last thing you want to do is have something to controverse the project.
Yeah. Right
now, it's a big controversy because of the bells. So everybody is getting a double look at this project, not because of the money and how we're going to get the money to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's the bells.
Yeah.
So guess what? I will ask the people in charge of the project, drop the bells, leave the bells where they are.
Yeah.
Okay, if that is what's going to bring a lot of people against the project,
yeah.
Why even bother?
Yeah.
They built the tower, they paid for the tower, yeah. The bells are there, so guess what? Leave the bells there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It probably started out as the bells, I get it, but now we got to really look at what this is going to cost. And say it costs $80 million.
But until they leave the belts alone, yeah. We're not going to talk about the money.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Well, and that's really what's sad here. I mean, even, all right, say it is 80%. That's still what, 40, yeah, like $40 or $50 million. Where does that money come from? We can't even fix all the streets that really need to be fixed here before that. And I know education's important, I get it, but they just got to look at this and see if it's going to pass. And I think being up front with people and saying, hey, look, this is what it is. This is what we need to do. I think people in the city are reasonable. They're going to look at it. But if there are things out there that it's going to cost this, but it's going to cost this, it puts doubt in people's mind, and they don't trust it. So I think they need to go out there and show that, and show that.
And those about going to add more money to this project.
Yeah, well, that's
just to just to get the support of the group.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to me, those belts now is more a symbol of the graduated from the old Durfee High.
Yeah.
So they're happy and they're proud that monument, they got that monument up, and that became more like a memorial site than anything else.
Yeah.
So why touch it? If it became a memorial, people donate, people that pass names, they put names down and breaks and everything. Just leave it alone. Just let them know, we won't touch it, but this will be behind the building. Will not be able to see people to see it when they drive. If you're fine with that, then we will leave it there, and we will save $200,000 on a project. You know, and to me it is this way. I think that putting the new the belts in the tower on the building, it's not going to bring the old Durfee back. And that's what they want to symbolize.
They want the bells. They want the bells on the building.
Yes. So they're going to make a tower to put the belt back on the tower. Oh. And the group is complaining because it cost them almost $300,000 that they raised from friends and everything to put that, and that became like a memorial for them. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, why are we going to make these people mad and vote against the project? And have a reason to vote against the project, because now we're going to put the belts on a new tower. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
No,
that we even talking about bells, and adding more money into the project so we can put the new.
Why can't the bells stay where they are now?
That's what I say.
Just leave them.
Just let them know that they're not going to be able to. People will not be able to see them. Yeah. Explain the situation because the building's going to be in the front. Yeah. But maybe they will say that's fine. We know we know the belts are there.
Weren't they in front of City Hall before, years back? I thought they were in front of City Hall, right?
I don't know.
If they
we
were,
still
bring
have
them back there.
in front of City Hall. Maybe it's different ones.
Just bring them back. I mean, that shouldn't stall the whole project. There's got to be some kind of compromise.
Because they have been having so many negative on this, having so many negative points on this project just because of the bells.
Yeah. Well, if it's being brought up because of the bells, then that's not right. But I think that they're going to have to be transparent with us and just come out and say this is what it is. I think people will agree more to that, but with anything, look at, we had a mayor kicked out of office because of purple bags that are $1. Now we're going to probably ask people to put up $300 or $200 on top of what their taxes are. That's not going to be an easy sell in Fall River.
And something would be sad if we come down to this project to be denied because of the belt issue.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but personally, I think the bell issue is totally different. I understand those folks are throwing a monkey wrench in this whole thing, but I still think that the whole situation, when it comes out that this is what's going to happen, that you're going to have to pay, some kind of extra tax, I don't know how that's going to go over. And
another problem that we need to think about is the new schools that we built, they're not new anymore. These are buildings now with 10 years.
Yeah.
And in 10 years, if you walk through them, they already need work. Yeah. They already need work. Yeah. And again, we're going to build a new school, and we're not going to maintain the ones we have.
That's my issue with it, is that, it wasn't that long ago. I graduated from there in 1982, but I started there in '78, the year the school opened. So I'm still alive, fairly young, I guess. And the school, you need to throw it away. Do you buy a 40-year-old house and then throw it away? Say we can't do anything with this and we throw it away? So I have issues with that. And like you said, then we're going to build a $250 million school. Is it going to be like crap in 10 years because we don't maintain it? It's just something that people are going to really have to look at. I understand we need it. Can we afford it? That's going to be the other issue. Just getting back to that, we had a mayor that got voted out because of purple bags, and we got a mayor that got voted out because of a $10 fee. And we think it's going to be easy, or the city thinks it's going to be easy to think they're going to pass this high school, and certain people are going to pay, the taxpayers are going to pay another $200 or $300 extra.
But we have a mayor that got elected because he was going to stop the purple bag.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So that's what I mean.
So one gets out because he does it.
He got rid of the trash fee. He's getting rid of purple bags, but we think that we're going to actually vote in a $200 or $300 override fee or whatever it's called. I don't see it happening personally.
On the purple bag, I have my doubts that will happen.
I mean,
2018, just because the fact that that budget has a lot of money that's not going to come in and was counted. So that budget has money from the billboards that we still don't know if it's going to happen. That money had the marijuana stores that we don't know if the state's going to give licenses.
I think they're going to. My feeling is with the marijuana thing, just to interrupt you real quick, is that a lot of cities and towns are doing this. So when's it going to happen where it's going to be oversaturated and we're not going to make the expected money they have off that? That's my feeling with it. But it's like the casino thing. You can only have so many.
Another thing, the purple bag, starting in January, I know people been telling me they're going to stop buying the purple bag in January. That's going to bring that money raised by the purple bags even lower. So if the purple bags are raising to 2.5, I bet you by July the city is going to lose at least $1 million in purple bag funds.
Oh. I mean, but is the city
because we have people already asking. The mayor said that there's no purple bags next year. The mayor said there was no purple bags next year, and people are, now saying, no. If he said, I'm not going to buy. I mean, you see it on Facebook. You see it on Facebook.
I've had people personally say that we don't have to do it next year. I said that's not what I've heard.
Exactly.
My thing is, are they finding people? Because if they're not finding people, I can see more and more people doing it. You look at it, who's paying for it? Dummies are paying for it, apparently, the people that are doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And you get more and more people to see that.
And again, don't tell me that you don't have people to give tickets.
Yeah.
We had money, we had grants, to enforce that, and was never done. And now, don't tell me that you don't have people. If you have people to go on the 6 o'clock in the morning because of a parking ban and give tickets, if every car parked on the street, I saw it. They came out of police cars to give tickets.
Oh, they were giving them early, I know.
CDM trucks, everybody was giving tickets. Okay, so why not do the same thing with the purple bag?
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean,
target one neighborhood in 1 week, target another neighborhood in another week. Don't give them the excuses that you don't have people to give tickets out.
Well, you know what? You know how in the parking tickets, I guess what happens is if you don't pay them after a while, they can go after your registration or whatever. They won't let you renew it or something to that effect. Well, if that's the case here in Fall River, if you have something you need to do in the city, like get a permit or something like that, you don't comply with this and you have all these fees with these purple bags, then, don't let them do it. But I really think what should really happen, and they've said they were going to do this before, they haven't. If you have a house that's continually not complying with the purple bags, you tell them, you are no longer allowed in this program. We're not picking up your trash anymore. You need to come, get a private hauler. And if you don't get a private hauler, we're going to fine you there for health violations.
Exactly.
That's what really should happen.
Which the health violations have more teeth than the trash.
Yeah.
But either way, you will resolve the problem.
Yeah.
Either way, you will resolve the problem. Because if a trash ticket goes to court and gets thrown out, I bet you if the health department takes you to court,
Yeah.
the judge not going to draw you up.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different.
You know,
and they see trash.
you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. That's what should be done. Will it? Who knows? You know what I mean? Things, you know, unfortunately, you know, we were talking earlier, and this, by the time this comes out, it's probably, we're going to have a new vice president, a new president of the city council. I just look at things, all right, I understand there's politics in the city. There's politics everywhere. I get it. And, you know, that happens. But you know what? We need to look at not like 3 or 4% of the people of Fall River. We need to look at the whole 100% of Fall River. How does this affect them? And until we do that in the city, it's going to continue to be the way it is. And I just wish people, when people get into office, that they look at the whole scenario. You know, what is going to help the city? You know, not what's going to help this, the other thing.
And what's better for us.
Yeah, for us.
It's not what's better for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? It's not, a city council should not even, when they make a decision, they should not think, what's better for me, this or this. Yeah. They should be thinking, what's better for them, this or this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of city councils, they are around for so long, they're there for so long that they could do no wrong. So what happens is, what's for me?
Yeah.
Everything would be better for me. I own the house. I want this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's.
But that's even, you know, it doesn't only pertain to people that have been in a long time. Some people that have been in a short time, it's the same way. So, you know, again, until we change that mindset a little bit, I don't think things are going to change.
And
here.
I went off on the ones that were there for longer because they should know by now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you are on your 5th, 6th term, you should know by now, okay, who you should be voting for.
Well, but you know what? Shame on the citizens of Fall River because they vote some of these people in each time, you know? And we're fickle here, too. You know what I mean? I've heard constantly, you know, we had the mayor's race, right? And what did we hear about, you know, Linda Purr was running against Jazel? What do we hear about a lot of folks saying? You know, she's been in for 30 years or whatever it is. What has she done for the city? We have many people that have been on that council for many years, and I would probably, you know, you can say the same thing about those same folks too. But you know what? What happens in this city is if certain people are, you know, defending or going with that administration's agenda, then everybody overlooks it. You know, so they're not really looking at the whole city as a whole. And I get upset with that. I get upset with the bike path thing. You know, the bike path thing, I've heard people actually say, nobody even uses that, and we're going to spend money on that. That's ridiculous. That's not going to bring new people in here.
And it's only a road.
Yeah, it's only a road. Why, you know, roads overcross, bike paths all the time. Really? Why was this road being put in? For what reason is this road being, to get a second egress to a complex that's in there that the first egress has served them very well. So, you know, if anything, you would think that business behind there would love to have that. Any other place in this Commonwealth would love to have that adjoining or, you know, near their property. They would love it. That would be a selling point to if you were renting out to people. But here, no, we want to do this, that, and the other thing. We do it. Are people really looking at that? I don't think things are being taken serious with that.
And again, the city of Fall River took it for granted that the state give us $8 million to build something like that. We take it for granted. Because if that money goes to another town, they will not even think about it.
There'd be an uproar. You know, it's Fall River, Boston doesn't give us anything, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, sometimes when they give us things here, we don't take care of them or we sell them out, you know? And that's what's frustrating, I think. Oh, look.
So, and we are at the end of one more show. Thank you, John, for being in here. And we promise to come back in 2 weeks, and next week for another show. We tape in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night now.